Hello, everybody. So, back with another little review and look in. This is, as some of you might already know, a Rough Rider Desert Fox Trapper um, pattern RR 2300. So, those of you that are familiar with Rough Rider, you probably like these knives as much as I do. Now, these knives can be pretty polarizing because a lot of people that are real big into collecting knives that kind of stay up more on the high end don't really have a very good appreciation for these. The average price of these knives go anywhere between probably 16, 17 to, between 25 and $30. They're a very economical, inexpensive knife, and they're Chinese made. I've come across many collectors over the years that will only collect American made, and that's fine. It's one of those to each his own kind of things. But personally, these knives are great. So this knife in particular is my everyday carry knife. I've carried this knife now every day for probably 2 or 3 years, and it's still in great shape. The blades still have good snap, both of them. Um, I sharpen my knives on one of those work sharp systems. I'll show it off on another video, but I don't have any wear showing on any of the blades yet. Um, these knives, as if you didn't know, I'm sure most of y'all did. These knives were pretty much the brainchild of Mr. Kevin Pipes, the owner of Smoky Mountain Knife Works. You can get these knives in other places online, but this brand is exclusively owned by that company, by Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Mr. Kevin, when he first came up with the idea for these knives, he did approach some American manufacturers, but he couldn't find what he was looking for. He couldn't find a company because he wanted to market an economical knife, if that's a word, a budget friendly knife, that anyone could have access to. Couldn't find anyone, and this is back in the mid '90s, about '94. Well, between 1990 and 1994, he finally finds an Irish company in Listowel, Ireland, that began making these knives around 94, 95. And the Rough Rider brand was trademarked in 1995. Well, the Irish company made these knives for a little while, but ultimately he wasn't very happy with them, and production was moved to China around 2000, around the year 2000. And they've been making them there ever since. Got many different lines. Like I said, this is the Desert Fox. They make like a dragon scale now that I've seen, and a couple different, bone variations, but they're really great. So this one particular that I'm showing off, that's a layered micarta scale, which is very comfortable and seamless. The hefting on these knives is incredible. You can't feel a seam line really anywhere. The blades are 440A stainless steel. I love sharpening this knife. The only bad part is I don't have to very often. Now, I don't really use my knife to cut a lot of really hard things during the day. Just mainly I open a lot of boxes of shipments that come in, and maybe some wire, cleaning some wire off, or mild, lighter cutting. But this steel, this 440A steel, sharpens like a dream. It almost sharpens itself. Again, like I said, these are very economical, knives. This one, depending on where you get it, is about $18. Earlier when I was getting ready for this video, I looked up on the Smoky Mountain Knife Works website, and they actually didn't have it. They had the large trapper that they've come out with, but they didn't have this one. But I found it somewhere else. And like I said, for anywhere between 18 and $19. So that's about how much this knife will run you. It is stamped like a tang stamp with a Rough Rider. Now, this knife, by the time that this knife came out, I believe they had gone back to, or they were spelling it R-I-D-E-R. I know it's gone back and forth a couple of times at the behest of Mr. Pipes between R-I-D and R-Y-D. But yeah, this, I know you can't really tell there, but I'm looking at it, that when this one was stamped, it was spelled R-I-D. But yeah, a great knife. Like I said, I've carried this knife for years. It's definitely one of my main go-to knives. I do have several others that I carry, but even if I do carry something else, I've still got this one on me. So hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed this knife. Again, like and subscribe. Share these videos to any of your fellow knife collecting friends. I've had a blast so far making these videos. So I hope y'all have a great day, and thanks again.